quick question. Are you still waiting for permission, or are you already taking ground? Because here's the law. Never ask. Take power that matters doesn't beg, announce, or whine for recognition. It seeps into the gaps. It colonizes the empty roles, the ignored systems, the boring responsibilities weaklings avoid. And once you've taken them, you own them. You don't request authority. You become necessary, and the room quietly orbits you. At work? That follow-up nobody claims, yours. With friends? The plan nobody decides, you set it. At home? The bills everyone dodges, you automate. That is how quiet power grows, by occupation, not petition. Machiavelli mapped this centuries ago. The ruler must be both fox and lion. The fox senses the trap. The lion clears the path. Notice what's missing. Begging, asking, waiting. And today you'll learn how to do both, step by step, without anyone's blessing. But first, make a pact with me. If you're here to build silent power, subscribe now. And tell me in the comments, are you fox or lion this week? Drop fox if you're mapping power. Drop lion if you're taking it by force. I'll reply to the sharpest plays. Stay to the end because I'll hand you a simple kit. The cadence that makes you inevitable, the structure that ends debate, and the one sentence that makes people move. Don't petition, position. Let's begin. The first law is occupy, don't beg. Let me ask you something. How many times have you caught yourself waiting? Waiting for the promotion, waiting for the approval, waiting for someone in charge to finally notice your effort and hand you the keys? Pathetic. That waiting is your prison. And here's the brutal truth. Dependents don't get handed keys. They get locked behind them. Machiavelli warned us centuries ago. A ruler must be both fox and lion. The fox studies the traps. The lion clears the path. And notice what's missing? Asking permission. You don't beg the gatekeeper, you dissect the gate. You track its hinge, its weakness, the moment it swings open. And then you don't tiptoe, you walk straight through. So how does this play out in the real world? At work, when nobody wants to schedule the client follow-up because it's not their department, you seize it, you own it, and suddenly the client stops looking at the faceless company. They look at you. You've become the point of power. In your friend group, when they waste 30 minutes in pathetic indecision over where to eat, you cut the chatter. You say, "Given time and budget, we'll go here." And just like that, you're not just another friend. You're the axis they orbit. Even in your family, when bills are late and no one dares deal with the hassle, you step in. You set up autopay. From that day forward, you're the one they quietly depend on, the invisible backbone of their survival. That is what it means to be the fox and the lion in our age. Here's the formula. Spot two decisions no one dares to fully own. Pre-build the answers before anyone else even thinks to. And when the room stalls, step in and declare, "Here's how we'll proceed." Then deliver. Relentlessly. Repeat it again and again. Because repetition forges authority faster than any nod of recognition ever could. So stop waiting, stop groveling, stop pretending the crown will be placed on your head. Because here's the law you must tattoo into your mind. Power isn't granted, it's seized, and it belongs to the one ruthless enough to occupy it. The second law is, be the fuse box, not the flare. Let me ask you something. When people think of you, do they see competition or relief? Because here's the brutal truth. Visibility invites resistance. Relief commands reliance. Most people chase success by screaming for it. They think being the brightest star in the room wins loyalty. They scramble for credit. They cling to applause. But here's the problem. When you shine too hard, you look like a rival, and rivals don't get trusted. Rivals get managed, contained, quietly cut out like a tumor. Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. A durable prince doesn't dazzle, he endures. Not by hogging attention, but by being steady, indispensable, and safe. He understood the iron law. People defend what relieves them, but they destroy what threatens them. So stop shining. Start stabilizing. Let's make it real. At work, think of the colleague who craves the spotlight. Every meeting, they claw for credit, pitch grand visions, shove their name onto every slide. Do people admire them? Maybe. Do they trust them? Never. They're a rival. Always under suspicion. Contrast that with the one who quietly eliminates chaos. The one who smooths deadlines, cleans up processes, sends reminders without nagging. No parades, no headlines. But when budgets shrink and heads roll, it's the fixer, not the flailer, who survives. The relief, not the rival. In friendships, watch the indecision ritual. 30 minutes wasted arguing where to eat. Loud voices clash, ego battles erupt, and then one friend steps in. Here are 3 options. Menus checked. Pick one. The group exhales. The tension evaporates. That friend isn't competing. They're anchoring. And anchors don't get replaced.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Even in family, when bills go unpaid and chores rot into arguments, the rival yells louder. But the strategist sets up autopay, builds a rotation, turns disorder into order. Nobody claps, nobody bows, yet everyone leans on them in silence. They've become infrastructure. And here's the real secret. Relief is invisible until it vanishes. Nobody thanks the fuse box, but kill the power, and suddenly all eyes turn to the box that sustains them. Here's your action plan. Diagnose 3 recurring pain points. The choke points nobody solves. Engineer the solution before the room even asks. Automate, standardize. Eliminate. Stay quiet. Let others hoard the spotlight like fools. You hold the choke points. You own the fuse box. That's how you build staying power. Not by clawing for dominance in the open, but by becoming the backbone they can't live without. Because remember, don't compete for applause. Control the fuse box. The crowd bows to necessity, not noise. The 3rd law is forge indispensability. Let me ask you this. Are you impressive or are you indispensable? Most people waste their lives trying to impress. They puff their chests. They chase applause. They claw for attention like starving dogs. But here's the weakness. Impressive fades. Indispensable compounds. Machiavelli knew this. He warned rulers never to elevate ministers too strong to control. Instead, he counseled them to choose those who depended entirely on the prince. Dependency by design. Not accidental. Engineered. Translate that to your world. Trust is not requested, it's manufactured. You don't politely ask people to rely on you. You build the structure so completely, so predictably, that they cannot imagine the system functioning without you. Think of the workplace. Anyone can spout good ideas in a meeting. That's cheap noise. The real power lies with the one who built the backbone. Who do they run to when they need the contract template, the project timeline, the updated client list? Not the loudest fool in the room. The one who quietly created the infrastructure, the one they cannot replace. A story. In one office, nobody owned the vendor list. Every new hire wasted hours chasing scraps of information. One strategist stepped in, built the master sheet, kept it updated, shared it widely. Within weeks, Every workflow leaned on that sheet, and by extension on the architect behind it. He didn't just look smart, he became untouchable. It works in friendships too. There's always one person who remembers the birthdays, the anniversaries, the little details everyone else forgets. They aren't the loudest, but if they disappeared, the group would feel the collapse immediately. That's engineered dependency. Ethical, simple, devastatingly effective, even in families. The one who tracks the medical records, the school schedules, the critical contacts. Nobody claps. Nobody praises. Yet, if that person vanished, the family would be thrown into chaos. They don't just help. They hold the walls up. So, how do you do it? Seize custody of the memory no one owns, templates, timelines, vendor maps. Become the single source of truth for one mission-critical process. Create dashboards and systems people consult daily until checking them feels instinctive. Then strip your name off it. Make the system feel like gravity, not noticed, but impossible to live without. Because here's the law: when your work feels like gravity, removing you feels like catastrophe. And that's the essence of power. Self-discipline creates the machine. The machine binds others to you. What begins as internal mastery ends as external domination. You don't just impress, you ensnare. You don't just contribute, you control. The fourth law is become the arena. Let me ask you, when the room is stuck in endless debate, do you add to the noise, or do you shape the battlefield itself? Here's the reality. Opinions can be ignored. Frameworks get obeyed. Most people waste their breath arguing. They think louder voices equal greater influence. But arguments create enemies. Debate creates rivals. And rivals are liabilities. Power doesn't come from noise. Power comes from structure. Structures don't get debated, they get adopted. Machiavelli understood this. He warned rulers never to sit in the middle, never to play neutral. Neutrality breeds contempt. The prince who dithers loses both respect and control. Leadership works the same way. If you let the room spin in circles, you forfeit authority. But the one who lays down the framework, that person isn't another voice. They are the architect of the arena itself. Let's bring it down to earth. At work, a failing project spirals. Marketing blames sales. Sales blames product. The meeting drowns in accusations. Then one person cuts through. 3 phases: stabilize the broken, execute the fix, optimize for growth. Suddenly, the room isn't debating anymore. They're aligning under a structure. That speaker didn't just contribute, they imposed order. In friendships, planning a trip dissolves into chaos. Beach, mountain, city. Everyone shouts, no one decides. Then you step in. Filter by budget. Anything over $500 is out. Now we choose between these 3 noise dies instantly. The framework ruled the room. In family, siblings argue endlessly about caring for a parent. Hours wasted, tension boiling. Then one sibling lays down a system. Rotating schedule, weekly slots, backup list. Suddenly, the argument evaporates. The structure dictated reality. Here's the secret. People don't resent structure. They crave it. When the room drowns in uncertainty, the first one to set the cadence becomes the metronome, and the metronome owns the rhythm. So how do you apply this? Offer a 3-phase plan: stabilize, execute, optimize. Force one constraint: scope, time, or quality. Let them pick 2, never all 3. Set default timelines. Make dissenters opt out instead of forcing consensus. Write decisions as precedents. This sets the baseline for all similar cases. This is how you stop arguing. This is how you start governing. Because here's the law. Win the frame, and the frame wins the fight for you. Internal discipline creates external dominance. If you can control the frame inside your own mind, you will seize the frame in any room. Master yourself, then master the arena. The fifth law is rhythm rules the crown. Let me ask you, do you chase grand, heroic moments? Or do you forge a relentless rhythm no one can ignore? Here's the truth. One dramatic save won't crown you. Relentless usefulness will most people lust for glory. They want the spotlight, the applause, the story of the one-time hero who swoops in and rescues the day. But here's the problem. The system doesn't run on drama. It runs on maintenance. And the ones who quietly deliver, week after week, become the backbone. Indispensable. Irreplaceable. Machiavelli saw it clearly. Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Translation: people don't measure your inner struggle. They don't care how hard you tried. They notice rhythm, consistency, cadence. That's what earns trust. Not effort, not excuses. Results, repeated. Think about it. At work, the employee who pulls one all-nighter to save a sinking project looks impressive for a moment. But the strategist who delivers small, steady fixes every single week, the one who publishes the friction log, removes bottlenecks, and keeps the gears turning, that's the one leadership leans on. Drama fades. Rhythm rules. In friendships, one grand party doesn't cement loyalty. It's the weekly check-in, the Friday text, the quiet, predictable presence. That cadence builds bonds stronger than fireworks ever could. In family, anyone can show up once in a crisis. But the one who pays the bills on time, keeps the schedule tight, and sustains the order week after week, that's not just helpful, that's gravity. The household orbits them, whether they admit it or not. So how do you weaponize this? Publish a weekly friction log. Show obstacles killed and fixes delivered. Hold a 15-minute stand-up. End with one clear commitment you always fulfill. Close loops publicly so progress is undeniable. Escalate problems privately so you never look like you're shifting blame. Over time, the rhythm becomes your reputation. People stop wondering if you'll deliver. They start depending on it, depending on you. That is the real crown. Not a single flashy rescue, not the desperate heroics of amateurs, but the quiet, merciless cadence that governs the system and chains people to your reliability. Because here's the law. Force impresses once. Rhythm governs forever. Self-mastery in rhythm creates external mastery in power. Control your cadence, and you will control the room. Control the room, and you will control the world. The sixth law is weaponize your absence. Let me ask you something. Do people know what breaks when you're gone? Most fools think safety comes from being endlessly available, always present, always helpful, always on call. But here's the truth. Presence proves you're useful. Absence proves they're helpless without you. If you overserve, you erase your leverage. You carry the weight so smoothly the weak never notice it. And if they never feel the wobble, they'll imagine you're optional, replaceable, disposable. Machiavelli understood this law of power. He wrote of cruelties well used, sharp, calculated acts that secure stability and fear in one stroke. Strategic absence is the modern cruelty, not neglect, not punishment. A controlled demonstration of what collapses without you. So, what does it look like? At work, you're the one who always produces the weekly report. This time, you document the process, then skip a cycle. The report doesn't arrive. The machine stutters. Tension spreads, And when you return, not only do you deliver, you refine the system so it never stalls again. Lesson branded into their minds. You are structural. In friendships, you're the one who organizes the hangouts, books the tables, sets the reminders. For one weekend, you pull back. The silence chokes the group. Plans unravel. When you return, they don't just appreciate you. They protect your role. They know who keeps the circle intact. In family, you're the one holding the household together. Groceries, bills, schedules. Step back for a cycle. Let the pantry run low. Let a bill almost miss. Not disaster, just discomfort. When you restore order, the truth crystallizes. The household survives because of you. The key is calibration. You don't disappear for weeks. You don't let collapse spiral. You withdraw just enough for the stress lines to appear. Then you return, stabilizing the system, stronger, sharper, untouchable. Here's the method. Map 2 tasks you fully own. Document them, then step back 1 cycle. Let a minor deadline slip hours, not days. Enough to sting, not to break. When the wobble surfaces, restore order and add a safeguard so it never falters again. Debrief coldly. Here's what the system expects to stay stable. That way, your absence becomes a weapon, a reminder, a silent thunderclap of your necessity. Because here's the law. Your silence must thunder. Your absence must terrify. Master this discipline. And you won't just hold a role, you'll hold people in orbit. Your calibrated absence forges dependence, and dependence is domination. The 7th law is speak as the map. Let me ask you something. When you speak, do people hear just another opinion, or do they hear the path forward? Here's the truth. Language sets reality. People follow certainty before they follow charisma. Most people speak like cowards. They hedge, they stammer, they lace every sentence with weakness. Maybe we could. Should we try this? What do you think? Pathetic. Every hedge strips gravity from your voice. The room doesn't orbit you because you abandon the force decisions require. Machiavelli knew this. He wrote that fortune favors the bold. Fortune doesn't wait for consensus. It bends to the impetuous, the ones decisive enough to seize the moment while others drown in hesitation. So what does this mean today? Once you've built your foundation, proven relief, cadence, indispensability, you earn the right to speak as if decided. Not loud, not theatrical, cold, definitive. Let's make it real. At work, a team collapses into endless debate over delivery, energy draining, deadline looming. You step in. Given the budget, the client's timeline, and our capacity, here's how we'll proceed. Step A today. Step B next week. Step C for delivery. No fluff, no question mark, just clarity. The room exhales. They don't argue. They follow. In friendships, chaos over plans. Weaklings mumble, "So, what do you want to do?" You cut through. "We've got 3 hours. Everyone's hungry. We'll eat here, then walk it off at the park." Suddenly, no friction. You didn't ask, you declared. And they moved. In family, holiday chaos, arguments over timing, food, location. You end it. Given grandma's schedule, travel time, and budget, we meet here at 6 p.m. Bring potluck. Done by 9. The noise dies. Order imposed. And here's the key. Decisiveness is not arrogance. True power pairs certainty with receipts. You anchor your decisions in facts, in prior wins, in contingencies prepared in advance. Your tone is calm, brief, surgical, no theatrics, no pleading. Your certainty should feel like oxygen, essential and invisible, not smoke that suffocates. So here's your move. Replace "what should we do" with "given XYZ" we will do A. Anchor every declaration in past proof. Show your record without flaunting it. Speak with finality. No rise at the end of your sentence, no question mark, only inevitability. Do this and something profound happens. People stop treating your words as suggestions. They start walking your route. Because here's the law. If you speak like the map, they will walk your route. Internal mastery of certainty becomes external mastery of men. If your words never tremble, the world itself will march in rhythm to your declarations.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.